We're gonna watch a video from your favorite brand. Yes, I'm talking about Nike. Yes, we're gonna talk about why the hell Nike is struggling. That's according to cnbc, bruh. Okay, I don't know they're struggling or not. I actually thought they're actually doing good. They're killing in the shoe game, or all those stuff. But looks like, I guess, they are struggling, at least according to cnbc. And we're gonna find out that why the hell Nike is struggling, and why their maybe shoe game or some game is not going according to the plan.
Nike is the world's largest sportswear brand.
Right.
This year, the company is on a mission to get its stride back. This week, the company posting its first earnings under new CEO Elliott.
Nike CEO Elliott Hill, or it's a new CEO, outlines new strategy after retailer blames promotion for declining revenue.
Hill.
Nike beating on the top and bottom lines, but its sales fell 8%.
Analysts say it's the beginning of a long turnaround for the company after what should have been an Olympic gold earnings summer. Nike shocked the market.
Shares of Nike are in free fall after they missed on revenue last night and cut their full year earnings guidance. The shares, down 20%, are on pace for their worst day ever.
The plunge wiped out $28 billion of Nike's market cap.
Damn.
This stock is cut in half since the all-time high in November of 2021. Like, what's happening? Is competition eating their lunch? I mean, that's pretty clear to me.
What I feel like is other brands, if you compare to Nike, the ones Puma and Adidas are really killing it recently, especially with their football kits and football shoes. Those both are really doing good job.
The company blamed its performance on everything from macro challenges to remote employees.
It turns out it's really hard to develop a boldly disruptive shoe on Zoom.
But experts say this was part of a years-long series of strategic errors.
When a $50 billion business sees a down 10% quarter, it's not an overnight occurrence.
Meanwhile, net sales of emerging competitors Hoka and On Running have both increased over 30% in recent quarters. Even established rivals like Adidas and Asics have seen growth while Nike has declined.
Right.
Nike has fallen behind, and I think that's illustrative of the fact
But I really thought they were doing
had a
good.
bit of a lull when it comes to innovation.
I guess they are not.
If you don't have that, then the kind of scale that Nike has achieved isn't worth much if you don't have the growth.
Wait, these ones, these are called Panthers, right? Something like that. Bro, do not buy these. They are so common. Just buy. These are hard. If I would buy these ones. They're maroon, you can say, or red. These one rather than these ones.
Don't have that, then the kind of scale that Nike has achieved isn't worth much if you don't have the growth.
Now, all eyes are on Nike's new CEO, Elliott Hill, to turn the company around.
I did not know they got a new
Elliott
CEO.
Hill is going to come out of retirement like Tom Brady to take the helm.
So what happened? And can Nike's new CEO get the iconic sportswear giant back on track?
Who knows?
Since going public in 1980, Nike's formula of marketing around elite athletes helped it become a
Michael
global
Jordan,
superpower.
Mario,
So what makes Nike
Tiger.
special? Well, that's, I think, part of the magic of the marketing. So much of retail is storytelling. Nike dominates, or historically has dominated.
Yeah.
We came back from the impossible, from being broken.
And that storytelling resulted in strong sales. By 2016, Nike reported annual revenues of $32 billion. Nike co-founder and former chairman Phil Knight decided he wanted to shift the company's focus towards digital growth before he stepped down as chairman in 2016.
Okay.
In 2020, former Nike board member John Donahoe replaced Mark Parker as CEO of the company.
Joining me is John Donahoe. He is the brand new CEO of Nike.
Thank you, sir. Thrilled to be here with you.
Thank you, sir. Did he really said that? Nah, he's cooked. I see why Nike is going down. All right. We got the answer. We got him, boys and girls.
Nike, under Parker, they were hitting their stride when it came to design, resonating
Really
with the
said,
consumer.
sir.
The next wave of growth for Nike,
She's literally sitting 2 feet away from you. She is sitting there.
he was going to be in digital. Donahoe made sense because his background is as a tech executive. He was the CEO of ServiceNow. He was the CEO of eBay. So he came from Silicon Valley
Under Donahoe, Nike began moving towards a more direct-to-consumer model, or DTC, by pushing sales directly from its own platforms and stores.
What Nike did is they decided, let's focus on DTC. It's a higher margin business, and of course, they want to keep the best releases for themselves, and therefore they pulled back from some of their long-standing partners, like Foot Locker, for example.
For a while, the plan.
But usually at Nike store, in-person store, shoes and everything is so expensive compared to online, dude. I mean, which is obvious, right? Like online, many things are, most of time, everything is cheaper than in the store. But still, if you go to Nike, it will be almost like a double price, dude. But what Nike was trying to do is to bring product more in store rather than online. But I mean, most of my life if I have bought Nike stuff, I have bought online.
It seemed like it was working.
Digital world. Now they will move on
Nike
to digital.
Reported digital sales growth of 82%,
See?
despite relatively flat revenue for the quarter compared to the previous year.
Because of COVID. We all went into lockdown, and
Right.
Nike digital online sales
Everyone
were booming.
digital
They
went
were ahead
up.
of the game when it comes to retailers selling online because they were first at it, and they did extremely well.
Encouraged by this success, Nike began officially limiting ties with retail partners like Dick's Sporting Goods and Foot Locker, and cutting others out altogether. This was a bold move. As of June 2021, these wholesale partners still accounted for around 61% of Nike's sales.
Oh, wow.
But Donahoe seemed to double down on Nike's digital push. In
Okay.
an earnings call, Donahoe said the consumer is digitally grounded and simply will not revert back.
Okay.
Here's the problem. Research shows that DTC doesn't always work the way businesses hope it will.
Yeah.
A 2024 study by BMO Capital Markets found that retailers who sell directly to consumers didn't actually see a relative increase in revenue, margins, or other profit markers.
Everyone thought, oh, if I eliminate the middle person, I eliminate the partner, I'll get their profits, I'll get their margins. What we showed is it wasn't happening. We realized, no, you don't eliminate the middle person, you become the middle person. And the middle person isn't necessarily a great place to be if you don't have their scale, if you don't have their expertise. And so everyone had to absorb all the costs of running those operations. We found those brands did not see a relative improvement in their sales. They didn't see a relative improvement in their profits. It just didn't happen.
What Nike thought was a sales boost from its new digital model may have just been fortunate timing as the world went into COVID lockdown and shopping went virtual. In 2021, as lockdowns lifted and consumers started to seek out in-store experiences, Nike's digital growth started stalling. Internally, the company was undergoing layoffs and cost-cutting measures that it said were focused on shifting resources and creating capacity to reinvest in our highest potential growth areas.
It does appear, according to analysts, that Nike over-rotated toward the direct-to-consumer. And then when it came back time for Americans and folks around the world to go shopping again after COVID, Nike just didn't have the same kind of priority and placement on the shelves. And it didn't have those styles
So
that
it was
were really
all
resonating
online.
with consumers.
Nike had also pulled back on developing its running business during a time when a record number of athletes joined the sport during COVID.
It had a big impact. Nike previously was really integrated into that running community and always speaking to that community, and that gives you authority and credibility in the category.
I mean,
They
I
pulled
wear
back on
Nike
that.
shoes
At
till
the
now.
same time, Nike was also grappling with a slowdown in consumer spending in China.
There's no question Nike can blame some of it on macro, but it's the flatline growth in North America, which is more suspect and harder to blame on the macro, especially when Adidas is growing its chief competitor because it has more innovative styles that people are really gravitating toward. It became clear that Nike not firing on all cylinders on the innovation front was really when the problem started beginning. And it ceded market share to players, particularly in the running space, like On and Hoka.
Everybody
Sneakers.
wears these.
Yes, this is the Hoka Clifton 9.
Hoka. Honestly, I have never heard about Hoka before. Okay, so this is some kind of big brand as well, which is doing better than Nike.
It is the hottest
Why
running
is
shoe
it so
of the
hot?
summer.
Hoka.
Inventory
Never
piled
heard
up
about
as
it.
consumers started to pull back and turn to other brands.
The core problem at the end of the day is that the North American consumer started seeing Nike as being a little bit cheapened because there was such an excess of product. And this goes back to the idea of when you have too much, you become less interesting, you become less popular, you become less cool. If there's no line outside of a club, most people aren't walking in.
Right.
Experts say the lesson learned is for retailers to remember what they do best, something Nike may have lost sight of in its effort to become a tech operation.
Being a technology company is not what makes you special. The mantra of tech is disrupt.
Okay.
Everyone wants to disrupt. If you're doing a really great job, sometimes disrupting yourself is a bad thing. And so figuring out how to evolve rather than break, I think is really important.
By early 2024, Nike started quietly returning to wholesale partners.
You're also leaning into wholesale, which is a bit of a change from Nike. It's
Damn,
been all
okay.
about direct to consumer, sell on your website, sell in your stores, and now there's a shift. Why?
Coming out of COVID, it was quite clear consumers were also going back into physical retail. And we recognized that in our movement toward digital, we had over-rotated away from wholesale a little more than we intended. So we've corrected that. We're investing heavily with our retail partners.
Foot Locker's relationship with Nike seems to have improved substantially. Nike needs them more than Nike thought. That's very important. It ain't just all DTC.
In September 2024, the company announced Elliott Hill would take over for Donahoe as CEO.
Another new guy. Okay.
Elliott Hill is someone that Wall Street doesn't know well, but internally at Nike, what I hear is he's known very well and very popular. This is a guy that started as an intern at Nike and has now
Oh, so he was the guy everybody was posting about. Okay.
worked his way all the way up to become CEO. He's a 32-year veteran. He also came up through the sales channel. So there are great expectations that he will know what produces a hit and will help turn around the innovation problem that Nike has suffered under John Donahoe.
In its most recent earnings call, Hill said the company will focus on clearing out excess inventory and reinvesting in sports marketing.
We lost our
Yes, sports is a big thing for Nike. They need to work on that.
We will lead with sport and put the athlete at the center of every decision.
This is not a story that 6 months from now we're going to be cheering about. This is going to be an 18-month plus show me how you're going to compete with all the smaller brands that have come from behind and the customers fallen in love with.
Right.
They need to reinvigorate. They need to remind people that Nike is special. And so I think if I'm Elliott right now, I think what I'm doing is I'm going back to my product people and I'm saying, I don't know what you've been working on in the past. Maybe you have something new, maybe you don't. Let's see, what is this innovation pipeline? And as soon as we can start telling people we have good product, then we will put really good marketing. Why does Nike win? Well, Nike has the largest research and development budget, and Nike has the largest marketing budget.
Last time I checked,
That's true.
winning is winning.
As long as they use that effectively, it's very hard to compete against. It doesn't mean that new brands can't emerge, doesn't mean that new brands can't take some share, but it means that Nike should always be able to get it back, as long as they have their eye on the ball.
We got some idea about why the hell Nike is doing so bad recently, but they got a new CEO, and yeah, we're gonna see what he do and what he accomplish in this next few months. At least he gotta show people, or at least his company, that this is what I got, and these are the changes I can make to bring back up all the stocks and all the prices, not the actual product prices but all the shares prices. But yeah, overall CNBC good. Why Nike is struggling? We see why it's struggling because of they were cutting some store products as well. Like this really focused on one thing. One guy came, he was like, I'm gonna focus fully on online. Then they started focusing fully on stores, the physical stores in the malls and stuff. Then they later cut the product off from their partners, which are like Foot Locker, the other brands, small brand which you can go and buy all kind of different brand shoes, but they will have a Nike shoes as well. That's how usually I bought my shoes if I wanted to buy offline in a store. Just go to these one of their partners and you can get a good price as well, and they usually had a good size and good designs as well. But then one of the person in their company cut them off, and that's also became a problem because they thought all that revenue will come to them, but rather than that, not much revenue was coming. As they showed in the video, about 61% revenue was coming from those retail stores, which was a wrong move that they cut them off. So they were everyone was coming in and experimenting with different stuff, but nothing much was working. So now they are back with athletes. This new Elliott guy is saying that he will really focus on athletes and putting them the priority of his brand. And Nike has been the athlete type of brand, you can say, the one which is always moving, let's do it, you get what I mean. So yeah, always moving, running shoes, tennis, all kind of sports, basketball, all that they got. But honestly, I did not thought they were doing bad, but after I saw those shares and all the stocks, all the numbers, yeah, I can tell it is going down. And after seeing that Elliot guy and his view of his history, I remember now people were really talking about him on Twitter, especially about, oh, this guy came a long way, like I guess he was just a random employee before, and now he's become kind of now he's CEO of that same brand. He never went to any other company, all that, and he just worked from from lower level to all the way to the top. But yeah, let's see what he do and what changes he make in the brand, and hope to see some good designs, good prices, affordable prices, and yeah, let's see if it goes up or not. But yeah, overall good video from CNBC, and I'll see you guys in the next one.